Hello, it's Chaplin73 here. I'm here to interview another artist today. Today I have the pleasure of meeting Hexx Inkworks, a graphic designer and artist. And hi, Hexx.
You're right.
And I will just crack on with the questions. So who are you? What do you do? And where are you based?
I go by the alias of Hexx Inkworks. I have studied graphic design, Sheffield Hallam, graduated 2020 and missed all the coronavirus pandemic, which was lovely. But through uni, I've realised that the work I want to do is more to do with like artwork, especially lettering. I come from a sort of graffiti background, so letters are like a key thing for me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I come from a background of like a skateboarding culture and like punk music and stuff. So that's what got me into graphics, like posters and stuff like that. And then obviously just sort of over time, you find different things and you gain different interests. So yeah.
Lots of doodling.
Yeah. Honestly, the amount of random bits of paper I've just got sketches on is like there's one over there's one over there, got some stuck up here. Like
I know the feeling. So has where you live influenced the work that you create in any way?
Oh yeah. I grew up in Lincolnshire, and in regards to that, probably no, because there's not a lot there. But I came to Sheffield for uni, and there's been quite a few sort of local artists. Like I've not really seen them. I've not seen their work about per se, but it's, when you're on Insta and you get so many suggested people because so many of your followers follow them. And it's location based as well. So I found a few local artists that way, and a lot of them have, I wouldn't say like inspired me massively, but it's just something to sort of like take note of and just like, oh yeah, I'll try that and I'll give that a go, or like, oh, I'll just give this a test instead of just doing the same old thing. Just more like experiments and tests and stuff than anything else. So
I mean, I love Instagram for that. I regularly flick through Instagram, and I look at other people's art and think, oh, I could do something a bit like that, or I could use a bit of that, or whatever. It's all ideas that just mull around in your head, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram I class as sort of like an essential platform, but compared to like what it was a few years ago, it's completely different. I mean, it's played with ads, and you get all these like, them accounts that don't actually create anything, they just share other accounts' pictures.
Yeah.
And when you're on your explore feed, it's just all crap like that. And it's just like, I just want to see some quality stuff, not the same recycled content from that 4 different accounts. But mine is
I think a lot of us are feeling your pain at the moment. So leading on from that, the artists, obviously you've got local artists there, but what other artists have influenced the work that you do? Because I know you do a lot of lettering work. I've seen a lot of your lettering work.
Yeah, I can't remember how to pronounce his name because he's Swiss, but there's this guy called Kikade Schwarzmaler or something. I followed him through Instagram, and he does like this really ornate lettering, and like when there's one of them people on Instagram and you're just such a fan and you see their work and every picture just like blows your mind. It's that sort of vibes. I probably one of the most key influences to get me down this sort of path of what I have is an American artist called Mike Giant. He's famous for his tattoo work, his graffiti, and also his illustration. I found out through him through a clothing brand called Rebel 8, which is like my favourite clothing brand. So, yeah.
Ideal. Fabulous, thanks. And what advice would you give to someone wanting to get their work seen? And what do you see as important to your process?
I say there's two ways of going about it. Obviously, social media is like essential, but I don't sorry, I don't think social media is essential just to have, but I don't think it's necessarily essential to be getting work. Because I mean, I've been on social media for ages with I think I've had my Hexx Inkworks account for like 4 years, but I haven't had any work come through directly because of what people have seen online. I've had work come through because of people that have seen stuff that I've painted, like in abandoned buildings and stuff, and then they've searched for my name. So I think it's essential to try and get out there in the public eye. Because obviously, if people don't know you exist, then they're not going to come to you. And I mean, I mean, say you're a painter, you're like a portrait painter. There's nothing stopping you from doing wheat pastes. Just get some like A2, A3 prints of your work, and just find some dodgy alley and chuck a wheat paste up, and there you go. And I mean, for some people that aren't into graffiti or even have had a little bit of a sort of rascal bit of a background, a lot of people are like, oh well, what if someone sees me and all of this? But the thing is, if it's like an abandoned building or like it's derelict or it's already covered in graffiti and posters and stuff anyway, they're not gonna care. There's loads of buildings like that in Sheffield, and it's literally just such a blank canvas pretty much to advertise your work for free. So yeah, I definitely find like getting your work out in the public somehow. I mean, that will be my way for just general artists, but obviously if they have something that suits their branding that they prefer, go ahead and do that.
I mean, I think it's hugely important to get your work out there in front of people who wouldn't normally find you on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
I was on social media for several years before I painted live at a live event, pre-organised live event, and that's where I've always done my stuff out in the public. I've sent paste ups to people who've pasted them up on walls, and it's nice seeing your work appear in like Manchester or whatever. Seeing a photo of it on a wall somewhere, but I don't tend to go out. Obviously, I've got another job, so if I got caught doing something slightly dodgy, there may be repercussions. But actually getting your work out and going to pre-organised events, I found really, really useful, because they just give you a board and you can do what you like on it, and people will come up and interact with you whilst you're painting, which is great. You can actually have conversations with people, and I get people randomly come up to me and go, I've followed you on Instagram for 3 years or whatever, and I've never done it before, and it's quite a nice feeling, to actually put a face to a name. I think the idea of finding places where there's already stuff done, either spray paint or paste ups or whatever, and adding to it, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a safer bet, isn't it?
There is a place in Sheffield, and it's right in the centre of town. If anyone like hears this from Sheffield, they'll know what I'm on about. But it's just been run down for ages. Just the whole area is just like, it's just not appealing on the eye. And I think it was a year or two ago. a bunch of local artists set up this sort of concrete canvas event,
Right.
and they effectively just arranged for a bunch of things in the city to be painted that either it wouldn't harm them, any paint being on them, or it already had sort of graffiti and stuff on it anyway. And yeah, so I went there because there was a space left. I went there because there was a space left in town at this place, and painted it. And like you said, the amount of people that just came up and they're just like, oh yeah, it's nice to see some colour, and like, oh, it's nice to, you know, to see a general something to brighten up the area. You know what I mean? Instead of it just being old depressing dive of a place.
And I think some people do really appreciate, you know, paint being put on the walls in whatever manner it is. You know, people do appreciate street art, murals. It has you know, an audience, definitely. Are there any future Hexx Inkworks projects you can share with us today?
Oh Christ, there's loads. Like, this is the thing. I start one, I get a bit stuck on it, or I get bored, or I procrastinate, and then go on to another one, and then it's all, and then I do one to like, oh well, if I get this done, then I can get rid of this stuff, and that saves me some space in my, you know, in my work area and all of that. So the most intermittent things are. I'm doing a drawing course at the minute because drawing's obviously been a massive part of my life. But I've only just realised that, like, well, I haven't realised, I realised when I graduated uni, because I would have expected uni to be teachers to draw, but for the people that haven't gone to uni teachers should pretty much fuck all. So I've started doing a drawing course, and after I get that finished, I'm going to release a bunch of shirts. I've already got a bunch of sort of like illustrations and stuff sorted, but they're sketches, and I'm going to wait till I finish this sort of drawing course so my skill is at like its peak, and then I can go back and finish them and then get these shirts printed. I'm on about doing a zine as well. Well, I'm on about doing 2 different zines. One's more exclusively just of sort of my work and me, while another one is to do with sort of the graffiti scene in Sheffield, but they're both on sort of the back burner. I'm not rushing to do them. And yeah, I mean, within all that, there's obviously life, work, you know, that horrible sort of stuff. Well, I mean, like my website, I still need to sort out my website. That's not something I'm wanting to do, but it's something I need to do. So yeah, so
brilliant. I might get in touch with you. We might be able to do some collabs or something for your zine or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I did a zine with an artist a couple of years ago now. I quite enjoyed doing those scribblings. So yeah, it was quite good. Right, well, it's been great talking to you today. Thank you for taking the time to have this chat with me and let us find out a bit more about Hexx Inkworks. That's been fab. I wish you all the best for the rest of what you're doing today.
Cheers. Likewise.
If you've liked what you've seen today and you'd like to see more interviews with artists from me, please subscribe to my channel. And that's all for now. Thank you very much.